Hey everybody, Chef here, and as you can see, we got chicks on the homestead now. So, I got these last Saturday, so today's Saturday, so I've had these a week now. And I originally got 6, and one of them died shortly after I got it, you know, which happens. But the rest of them are doing good, and they're growing. I can really see a lot of growth on them. I got 2 barred rocks, 2 Rhode Island Reds, and then 2 Easter eggers. My daughter saw them and she wanted to get ones that laid green eggs. So we got them. The littlest one there is Rhode Island Red, and the other one of them died. That was the one that died. But yeah, they've really grown a lot. I was, looking at the barred rocks today, and they were, mostly black with a little bit of white on their head when I got them, and they're really starting to, you can see they're starting to get that white and black pattern that they have. So I'm really excited to have these. These are the first egg-laying chickens that I've ever had. Several years ago, I grew some Cornish cross meat chickens and had them, but these are the first egg-laying chickens that I've ever had. And they're the first first any kind of chicken here on the homestead in I don't know how long, probably over 50 years. I know my grandparents, they had chickens back in the day, but they never had any, the whole time I was growing up. So with the exception of the neighbors' chickens that, wander over once in a while, these are the first chickens on the homestead here in a long time. So I'm real excited about them. I've just got them, here in the garage right now. But I have a chicken tractor that I built for my meat chickens that I've got to do a little bit of work to, and I'll have them out there in the daytime, and when they get a little bit bigger here in a few weeks, and then I'm going to build a chicken coop because I obviously don't have one of them. So that'll be a video in itself. But yeah, I'm excited to have chickens, and we'll go take a walk around the homestead, and I'll show you some other things that are going on this week. So we had about 1.5 inches of rain over the last 3 days, which luckily it was a nice, it had time to soak in as it rained. We never got more than, we never got a whole bunch at one time. So that's good. So my corn patch is way too wet still to do anything with. I'm hoping, here, I'm hoping to be able to, they're not calling for rain anymore for about a week, any good, decent chances. So I'm hoping, hoping here in, 3 or 4 days I can work ground and plant corn. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So that'll be a video. But my rhubarb here, I took a little, I've got a little small tiller, and I went around it real good. The rhubarb, if you remember, a family friend of mine gave me some starts of rhubarb plants, and I didn't know where I wanted to plant them yet, so I put them in pots, and they took off. I did really well. But then they kind of got big for the pots, and I finally figured out where I wanted to plant them, and so I planted them here, and they kind of had some shock at first. I think it was a mixture of, planting them in the ground and also getting a little too big for the pots that they were in. But I got them planted, and they're starting to, some of the newer leaves are looking good, so I'm hoping they're hanging in there. I've been keeping it watered, and then obviously with the rain we got, that helped that. So then I tilled up another strip with my small tiller, pretty much just to kill the grass that's on it. And I'm maybe planting my asparagus plants that I started from seed there in that spot. So that's exciting. And while we're out here, we'll go look at the garden and see the progress on it this week. So the garden's really growing this week. We can see a lot of growth here. And I neglected to say in the last gardening video that I had a couple plants a couple onion plants and a couple Mexican sunflowers that something had eaten part of the plants. So I went ahead and I put the electric fence up. I hate putting the electric fence up. I hate messing with fencing stuff. Really putting it up's not that bad, but I hate taking it down. It just sucks. But, you know, I've got the stuff, and really the worst part about the fence, once you have it up, is the fact that I have to weed eat around it, and I hate weed eating. But I guess it is what it is. That way I'm pretty safe to say I'm going to get stuff out of the garden. But celery's doing real good. And then those are my Great Northern beans. And my Roma green beans are doing good. And the corn, sweet corn, it's doing real nice. Love seeing those green rows once it gets big enough to start seeing them. Onions are starting to take off. How well you can see them. They're starting to take off. Then that row down there is carrots. They're coming up hot and heavy. And then potatoes are coming up good. So they're coming up good. Kennebecks are coming up a lot better so far than the Pontiac Reds. Peppers growing good. Tomatoes growing real good. Tomatoes are doing real nice. One day this week, the other day before it started raining, whatever day it was before it started raining, I ran the row hoe through the garden again, and I put, what I do, I fertilized all the stuff, put triple 12 around all the plants. Then I came back and I put nitrogen on my onions. And yeah, so that's how I did that. Plans are, once it gets dries out, and the next thing I'm going to do is I must try to get on those carrots and thin them while they're little. That's, you know, it's easy to do stuff when they're little and weed whatever I need to. Because I plant them pretty thick, but I'd rather have them thick and have to weed them, or have to thin them. More competition for weeds. But planning on this week, I'm going to put nitrogen on corn. I'm going to side dress it with urea since it's at the size now that needs to be done. And then I'm going to put my small tomato cages on the tomato plants. I put them in small the cages that, you know, the real cheap ones you get at any gardening store. And then I have concrete wire cages that I put on them later. So I'll get those little cages on them, and then and then also I'm going to need to have to hill these potatoes soon, because they are starting to grow by the time I can get in here to dry. I'm sure it'll be time for that. So that's how the garden's looking. Hopefully this coming up week I really like to finish up planting, because my goal kind of is to start on that chicken coop once planting's done. And I forgot to show while I was over there, but this week, me and my daughter also started some pumpkin seeds for our little pumpkin patch we're going to have. We started, we had 52 plants, but 4 of them are birdhouse gourds. So we'll see how they do. I'm excited for pumpkins as always. Most of them are jack-o'-lantern varieties, but I've got a few that are the giant pumpkins. I haven't had luck with them before, but we'll see. This is only really my second year of trying to grow pumpkins, so we'll see how they turn out, and I'll make a video about them once they get going pretty good. But that's kind of the update. I will leave you with this cliffhanger. There's going to be something new coming to the homestead. New piece of gardening equipment. Not something that I seeked to find, or not something that I was even looking for, but it kind of fell into my lap, and I really don't know much about it. But we'll have a video. We'll have a video when I get it. I'm supposed to be getting it here in a couple days, so I think maybe Monday or Tuesday, or beginning of next week I should have it here. But not well with, you know, homesteading, you're always looking for stuff you might need. But like I said, this kind of fell into my lap, and definitely use it because I've got one, but the one I've got kind of don't use it as much as I should, just because it needs a little bit of work done to it, and I've done, well, we might talk about that later. But anyway, we got something new coming to the homestead, and I'm excited about it, and we'll have a video about it. So I've rambled on long enough. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you later on. Thanks for watching.